Hello everyone, welcome to the most important topic of your neural physiology. If this topic you understand, you will understand the rest of the physiology very easily, okay? And if not, then also I will try to make you understand. But this is the most important topic from understanding point of view, okay? What are we going to discuss is action potential. But understanding action potential is not like any other understanding process, okay? You have to be well versed with every player or every stakeholder that is in the process, and then you have to integrate it, and then only you can understand the whole process, okay? Else it will not make much of sense to you, and if this does not make much of sense to you, you will face problem everywhere, neuroendocrine, then your neurotransmitters, etc., everywhere. So this is one of the most important topic, okay? We will build up from the very basics. So for your understanding, we'll start with what is the first concept that we need to know. First concept is, why do we need an action potential? See, this is nerve, and all the nerves are connected to either muscle or with each other. Okay, so this is nerve and muscle physiology. This is only nerve physiology. Okay, here we have to see only nerve physiology, but then we have to understand both. So if I say that nerve is firing, these terms, if I use these terms, that nerve is firing means the nerve is functioning. The nerve will function means, what is the function of nerve? Function of nerve for muscle is to transmit signal to it. Function of nerve for nerve is communication, again to transmit signal. Whatever signal it has to give to the muscle or it has to give to another nerve. Okay, understood? And in response to this signal, I will say that the muscle has contracted. Muscle contraction means that muscle is functioning. Okay, muscle contraction means that the muscle is functioning. Nerve firing means that the nerve is functioning. So here you understand two terms. If we say nerve is firing or if we say muscle is contracting, that means they are in the active state. And if I say nerve is not firing and muscle is not contracting, that means it is the resting state. So every nerve, every muscle of the body, either they will be in the active state or in the resting state. And we have to understand how the nerve goes from the rest state to active state, and how does it come back from active state to rest state. And this is the basic of your neurophysiology. Okay, and in this chapter of action potential we will be seeing only this. Okay, so you have understood the basic concept. So if I say that the nerve is firing means the nerve is giving signal to the muscle to contract, or if I say the neurons are firing, so means they are communicating with each other. What neuron A knows is telling neuron B, what neuron B knows is telling neuron C, what neuron C knows is telling neuron D, and like this they will reach brain. From brain another signal will come to neuron 1, it will give to neuron 2, it will give to neuron 3, it will give to neuron 4, and ultimately it will come onto the muscle and do the action. Now you have to understand what I am trying to tell you. Let's say this is a hot pan, okay, and by mistake accidentally my finger touches this hot pan. What will happen? Suddenly this feeling of hot, this sensation of hot is carried by this neuron. Okay, and now it has to tell my brain that this pan is hot, so you have to command us what to do. So this signal that this pan is hot is carried to nerve A, then B, then C, and then D, and then it reaches brain. This is how the brain knows that this pan was hot. Now the brain wants me to remove my finger. So it will give the signal of removing the finger to this neuron. Remove finger, remove finger, remove finger, remove finger. And ultimately, this sensation of removing the finger will go to the muscle. This muscles, the finger muscles we have, okay? And then as soon as the nerve gives this signal of removing the finger, the muscle contracts. When it contracts, it is like this. Okay? So, muscle contracts and the hand is pulled away. So, here we say that neurons were firing and the muscle contracted. This was the active state. Now what happens? When they have worked tirelessly hard, now they want to rest. When they want to rest, first thing is there will be no signal from these neurons. No signal to the brain. Brain does not sense anything. Brain does not command anything. So nerve is not firing. Muscle is not contracting. Means it is in the state of rest. Now you understand. I hope now you understand what are we trying to study. We are just trying to build on the very basics. Okay. So overall process is this only, how I am moving my hand, how I am moving my fingers and all. This is because of the integration of the nerve and muscle. Understood? Chalo. We'll dive one step deeper. So there is a concept of resting potential. Don't get bogged down by the terms. For you, terms are not important at this point. At the last, when we combine everything, then you see if you can make sense or not. Okay. Currently, you just focus on building your concepts. So you know one concept as of now. That is this. Nerve firing, muscle contraction is active state. Second concept is of resting potential. See, resting potential is that what is the normal position of a nerve. Normal position of the nerve can be let's say the nerve is doing something and the other condition is the nerve is resting. So what is the electrophysiological difference between them? That is, how do I know that nerve is in resting phase or nerve is doing something? How do I know this? So let's compare it. There is a doctor when he is in the clinic and when he is in the house. Okay. How do I know when is doctor working and when is doctor resting? So whenever I see the doctor in the clinic, I know the doctor is in active state. That is, he is doing something. Whenever the doctor, I see him at the house, I know that he is in the resting state. So there is a marker there is an identify marker that he will be at his house, so he is resting. He is at his clinic, so he is in the active form. Similarly, how do I know whether my nerve, currently when I am seeing the nerve, whether it is resting or whether it is in active form? So it is said that there are certain charges. This nerve, every nerve has a membrane, covering membrane. Okay. And if we see the membrane, I've drawn this, that I have drawn is the membrane only. Okay. So it is said that if on the outside of the membrane there is positive charge, and on the inside of the membrane there is negative charge. That means that the nerve is resting. If on the outside there is negative and inside there is positive, that means that the nerve is active. अभी नहीं आएगा समझ. So, like doctor, we have nerve, and we are saying if the nerve's outside is positive, inside is negative, then we know that it is resting. If the nerve's outside is negative and inside is positive, then we know the nerve is active. So understood this basic, how you can compare both the situations? Okay. So we know that this and this states are different, and when the nerve is in these states, they are either resting or active. Now we have to understand that how do these states develop, or how do these states look like. Okay, like I know now how the house looks like and how the clinic looks like. So I have to develop an understanding, how do I see the nerve, outer positive, inner negative, outer negative, inner positive. How do I identify that? Okay, let's say the doctor's house is yellow in color and clinic is red in color. Okay, so whenever I see yellow, I understand that he is resting. Whenever I see red, I understand that he is in active. So similarly here also, there will be some chemicals. If those chemicals are present, that means the nerve is resting. If other type of chemicals are present, that means the nerve is active. Okay, so we'll try to understand. So in the body, you have two main chemicals, two main ions, that are sodium and potassium. Sodium and potassium. Apart from sodium, potassium, there are many. There is chloride, there are other anions, etc. So you don't have to go in those details. Just understand that in the body, there are two main chemicals that we will discuss. They are sodium and potassium. And remember, both are positively charged. So when I talk about this charge, positive and negative, I am talking about the positive and the negative charge on the element. Okay, on the element. Both are positive charge. Okay, but remember, membrane is more permeable to potassium than sodium. This is the normal hedonic tone of the body. Like God has made the membrane like this only. Okay, membrane is more permeable to potassium than sodium. If something is more permeable means, what does more permeable means? Let's say there are two situations. This is door 1, this is door 2. Okay, from the door 1, anything and everything can go in and anything and everything can come out. Anyone can go in, anyone can come out. Okay, it is like the door of a temple. But then there is other door. Let's say the door of the house. Door of the house, that only the family members are allowed in, or only the known are allowed. Strangers are not allowed. Strangers are either not allowed at all or sometimes allowed. Sometimes allowed. Okay. And similarly, only the known can go out. Strangers are not related to this door of the house. Okay. Understood? So, if I ask you which door is more permeable, permeability, it means transferability. So door 1 is more permeable. More permeable means more easy transfer. Okay, so we understand that from this statement, we understand that movement of potassium inside and outside the cell is easier than the movement of sodium. Okay, potassium can move freely inside and outside because the membrane is more permeable to it, whereas sodium will require permission for the movement. So movement of potassium is easier than the movement of sodium. Okay,